Jeromy, welcome to the show. I am so excited to have you here, not just because you are a fellow Boricua, but also because you're one of my incredible blog bootcamp students who is out here creating opportunities. I'm so freaking proud of all the progress that you've made since we've worked together, and I want to catch up and give everybody that listens to the show like a real story about like what it looks like to try to become a content creator while you're like living life, while you're
Mhm.
working, while you're trying to make things happen. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the chaos of the world. But thank you so much. This really feels like a full circle moment. Like, what was it? Maybe 2 years ago, I was in the
Yeah.
blogging bootcamp, and now I'm here. I mean, I haven't told you when we were, texting. This was definitely one of my goals for this year, and the fact that it happened
Hello.
earlier than I thought. I was like, mind blown.
This is what happens when you start putting out the energy into the world that you want to
Mhm,
create something, right? And I
mhm,
think that's what I love the most about being a coach is just I feel like I create spaces that allow people to dream and to start executing on that dream in a safe space
mhm,
because a lot of people around us will not understand like why are you doing this? What are you
mhm,
talking about? You're going to go
mhm,
post shit on the internet. Like that's
mhm.
weird. But when you can do it in a community of people that like get the vision and that's for you, I think that's when real transformation happens.
100%.
So let's talk about your origin story. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do now as a content creator.
Of course. So, first off, my name is Jeromy Marcano-González. I'm the creator behind TropiBites. TropiBites is a food and beverage blog where I showcase my love for everything Puerto Rican and Latin cuisine, as well as craft cocktails. Apart from that, I'm also a full-time bartender at a luxury hotel in Midtown Atlanta. I've worked in the industry, the hospitality industry, for about 8 years now. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about. And I definitely wanted to channel that passion of food and restaurants and everything into something else. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I was raised in that hustle mentality. I was raised by a single mother where I had to help her also make ends meet. So I was always selling either candies or pastries or just something to help her out. And I always had that vision that one day I'm gonna own something, either a restaurant, a food truck, a coffee shop, whatever. That idea definitely fascinated me. Now, starting with your blogging bootcamp, that was definitely gave me the push to start getting to that goal, getting to that dream.
Yeah, I love it. You know, I think there's a stigma in our community that working in the hospitality industry is like falling into a stereotype, right?
Mm,
Because when we think about even like the way Hollywood portrays us, you know, as Latinas, like we're always the fucking maid at the hotel,
right,
or like the guys are the dishwashers at the restaurant or
right.
whatever. I'm thinking of like
Mhm.
this scene from Scarface where he's like, I'm not fucking doing this shit. I'm gonna go sell drugs because this is
Right.
better than me fucking washing dishes over here at
Okay,
this
like
little rinky dink restaurant, right?
right. I'm just
So
wait.
I'm wondering, how did you fall into the hospitality industry?
I feel like most, at least minority cooks or just people that are passionate about cooking, always have that one abuelita, that one grandma that definitely pushed them and inspired them to pursue this. And I definitely fall into that as well. At least in my grandma's house, she always hosted gatherings, birthdays, or for holidays or anything. And we would all just be eating that arroz con pollo with some habichuela.
Mm-hmm.
And just that space, that environment was definitely what motivated me be like, you know what, this is something that I enjoy. Also watching Food Network, like food competitions and all those things with my cousins, we would be judging them like we actually know what we were doing. Be like, no, he should have done this. No, he should have done that. We're over here, like zero experience, like 15 years old. But again, that also fueled that passion, that mentality. Like one day I'm gonna get there. One day I want to be a chef like that, or a cook like that, own a restaurant like that, be on a show like that. Ever since I was legal age to work, like 18 years old, that's where I started being a host at an Italian restaurant in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history. 8 years later, I'm still in the industry, worked in every position, the front of the house of restaurants, and I love it.
That's awesome. So did you actually study this in school?
Yes, so I actually do have my major in hospitality administration, my bachelor's.
That's awesome.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, you know, I think there's something to be said of
Mm,
giving yourself permission to follow those passions, right? Because I think
mhm,
a lot of times, and maybe they do it unintentionally, but our
mm.
parents can tend to like talk us out of those things because it's like, pero ahí no hay dinero. You know what I mean? And so did you ever hear that from your family?
that's also part of my story.
Oh,
No,
okay.
so definitely growing up again, I always had the passion. Already had that mentality, even in high school. I'm gonna go to culinary school, I'm gonna become a chef for my own restaurants, I'm gonna have this hospitality empire. But my once senior year of college came, they were like, oh, ¿y por qué no haces algo que te deje más dinero? Something that can make a little bit more money, especially in
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Rico where wages are much, lower than here.
Right.
They were like, I love that you love to cook, but maybe consider other things that you might like, but they can, get you a better income. And that's where I was introduced into the world of engineering. So I went through that route. I did environmental engineering in the Polytechnic University of Puerto Rico for about, I'll say, a year and a half. Was not my thing. And it was very interesting because even during college, one, I was still doing little side hustles. I was selling like brownies and stuff like that to, again, make ends meet because it was a private school. So it was
Mm-hmm.
not cheap.
Yeah.
It was not cheap at all.
Yeah.
So I had to make it work somehow. But I was also talking to my fellow colleagues. We would talk about our goals, what we would like to do with our majors. And I would always say, I want to own a food truck. I want to
Mm.
own
You're
restaurants.
like, what
I
the
want
hell are
to
you doing here, bruh?
literally, they were like, oh, so what do you want to do with your major? I was like, oh, so that part. It got to a point where it was definitely frustrating because even though I was doing good in certain classes, and I found I liked certain classes when I was diving more deep into my major, my passion wasn't there.
Yeah.
I knew this is not where I'm meant to be. This is not where I want to be. 2017 came, Hurricane Maria, Hurricane Irma destroyed the whole
Mm.
island. I came to Atlanta, and I actually applied again to for an engineering school to continue my major. Got into Georgia Tech. I had an out of state tuition that actually was $11,000 a semester.
Oh, my
I was
God.
like, or something around that price, right? Absurd. And I was like, I don't have that money. My
Mm-hmm.
island just got destroyed. We don't have power. We don't have anything.
Yeah.
I don't have that money. So I was like, no, thank you. I'm fine. So I definitely took that time to reflect, meditate, and say, you know what? I'm in a new country. I'm starting a new life. Let me actually go back to what I'm passionate about. And there was some, como que un poquito de pelea con mi padre,
Resistance.
yeah, resistance with my parents. Like, hey, but like, why don't you try? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what, are you sure you want to do this? I was like, listen, I'm sorry, I love you, but
It's my
this was
life.
right. And this wasn't what I wanted to do in the first place. I'm not going to continue to get in debt because I was taking loans and in this school, Georgia Tech. So it was definitely expensive as hell. I was going to continue to take loans. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to be ahogado en deuda,
Mm-hmm.
drowning in debt by the time I graduate.
Yeah.
But not,
Especially
and
for
then
some shit you don't want to do.
and on top of that, for something that I'm not even passionate about.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm sorry. I love you, but I gotta pursue like what I actually want to do.
Yeah.
And I did. I started my major in Georgia State University, hospitality administration. Got shit ton of scholarships. Enjoyed my time there. Met a lot of great people. Networked a lot, and it definitely opens the doors to many, many opportunities. And
Mm.
here we are.
I hope anybody who's listening to this episode who is thinking about making a change that potentially can disappoint some people in their lives takes this as the permission slip that they need,
Right.
because we really do get like one opportunity to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spoken to so many people who regret taking out these loans to study some shit that they didn't even want to do because they felt all this pressure from external
Mm-hmm.
sources about, well, you should do this and you should do that. And the thing that I've realized comes with age mainly is
Mm-hmm.
like you just stop caring so much about what other people think,
Mm-hmm.
and it becomes easier and easier to continue to make those decisions that are more aligned with like who you want to be versus who everybody else wants you to be. So I'm glad that you took that opportunity to like stand up for yourself and not continue to like go down this road, get that degree, start working in the field, and then wake up 15 years later like, holy shit, whose life is this? I don't even recognize myself and I hate it. And now
I don't
in
want to
my
be here.
30s or whatever, now I got to restart versus like giving yourself the permission to pursue the shit from day one.
And I mean, even the amount of times that fellow colleagues or friends that tell me, we used to talk about our majors, what are our goals and whatnot, and they'd be like, I don't know, I don't really like this. I'm just doing it for the money. Or now that I'm an alum, they're working in that industry. I hate my job. I don't want to be here. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that. And they still pursue like masters and doctorates. I'm like,
Yeah,
what are
because
you
you're trying to
doing?
convince yourself that eventually you'll
Mhm,
make enough money to be happy. And I
mhm,
promise you that's not the case. Like, there's no amount of money that somebody could pay me at this point in my life to go
mhm,
back to engineering.
mhm.
Can't do it. It's just not aligned with who I want to be. And it's okay to come to those realizations and make those changes, because all you're going to do is just keep sinking further and further into that depression. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous to like feel like you're not even living life for yourself. When people ask like folks who are older, like, what do you regret? It's like not choosing myself. It's not listening to my gut, not
Mhm.
making that decision that I knew needed to be made. And now it's like, well, this shit's done. Now what? So you graduate with your degree in hospitality and
Mhm.
you immediately are in the industry. Or were you working like part time when you were in college too, like to get extra
So
experience and stuff?
yeah, a
Okay.
1000%. Even though I was in college, I was also one of the main providers in my household,
Yeah.
living with my mom, partners, or just the two of us. So I definitely had to work. This is nothing new. Again, I grew up with a single mother, so I was always helping her out as much as I could. So I was
Hmm.
definitely working every weekend, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 days a week while I was a full time student, while I was involved in college and different organizations. Again, working in the industry, serving, bartending, hosting, which are long nights,
Hmm.
past 12, to then wake up early in the morning to go to college. Here in Atlanta, I've always lived pretty far away from college. So it was like an hour commute
Wow.
or take the train, and definitely challenging, stressful at many, many, many times. But we pushed through, and yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so at what point do you realize like I want to do my own thing on top of this career that I'm building? I
Mm.
want to have my own thing.
It was definitely 2022. Beginning 2022, I was already looking into some programs, management programs, but I'm also noticing like, do I really want to do this for the rest of my life? Or really not? Yes, I did say earlier, hospitality is my passion, but hospitality is also a very, very sacrificing industry.
Mm,
You're working late nights. Well, at least in my segment, food and beverage segment, you're working late nights, you're working holidays, your schedule is, most of the time is going to be all over the place, not
right.
going to be consistent. And again, I've always had that dream, that passion of owning something, of owning my own time, or something that will give me that freedom. And this was just not giving it to me, and I was tired.
Yeah.
I was tired of missing things, big events, or birthdays, or being with family, or just being there. And I was like, no, I need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I was looking into a management program. I took the risk, went to Tampa, did that program, but at the same time, I was also I was doing the boot camp, the blogging boot camp. I was trying to balance both things. But again, I'm still having this crazy schedule,
Yeah.
still commuting late at night, and just tired, burnt out. Also, so dealing with personal things. So it's just like, it was just such a big emotional weight that
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I need to choose myself. I need to choose for my future. I need to like hurry up and decide what really do I want to do, because this is no longer what I want to pursue.
Yeah.
And I took the risk, put my 2 weeks in that program, left the program halfway. I didn't even complete it because there were definitely penalties to that, because I was breaking a contract. And I was like,
Mm,
you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. If I
yeah.
don't do this now, I'm not gonna do it ever. I did the boot camp and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to. This was an investment. I need to like put that investment to use, and that's why I took the risk. I left the job, and that's when I started putting in the work. I started
Mm-hmm.
posting on social media. I started working on the blog, which took me a little time, but at least I was posting. At least I was posting videos. I was like, you know what? Let me just at least try, because I need to leave this, madness.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it was challenging at first, it's like you keep kind of like what you keep on teaching. It's just being consistent at first, either
Yeah.
once a week, once every other week, whatever. But here we are. After putting all that work, I'm still trying to be as consistent as possible. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm definitely pushing and going to achieve that
Yeah.
goal, that end goal.
When we were first talking about your idea, I knew right away that like video had to be a big component of what you're doing, because your
Yeah,
personality is just so engaging. You're like such a natural in front of the camera. And I have to think like a lot of that comes from being in the hospitality industry, that you
yeah.
just have to be good with people. And so it
Mhm.
definitely translates to your content. But your stuff also feels like very authentic. You're speaking Spanglish and you're like
Right.
flaunting the culture. And
Yeah.
I love to see creators who like really embrace who they are versus feeling like they need to fit into this cookie cutter version of like what they think a content creator is supposed to
Hmm.
be. Because the beauty of this industry is like the content is you. Like at the end
Hmm.
of the day, people invest their time and energy and support into you. And the more authentic that you are, the more like authentic your audience is going to be because they're connecting with like who you really are. So
Hmm.
I love what you're doing. And you've already had some like really cool projects, collaboration,
Hmm.
success that has come out of this project. So
Hmm.
tell us like some of those highlights for you and like how they've even come about.
Yeah, so I mean, right now, I want to say everything really started with my collaboration with Healthy Rican or Mayra from Healthy Rican. Amazing person, love
We've
her.
had her on the show too. She's
Yes,
amazing.
yes, we were even talking about that. I was like, I saw you on Yo Quiero Dinero, I did the boot camp. I was like, I need to follow her. And funny enough, I already follow her, but I think I posted a video and she found me somehow. And when she followed me back, we texted each other at the same time. It was hilarious because we each got our notifications at the same time, and then we were just laughing it off. I was just saying thank you, but her message was actually inviting me to do a collaboration with her. Mind
Mm,
you, I have not done any collaborations with anyone before.
yeah.
This was so before when I started posting content, I was on my personal account, but then I created an actual account separate from my personal. So my page was, I have what, like 10 videos probably. So I didn't really have that much, in my opinion, to prove. But I
Yeah.
guess she saw the talent, she saw the potential, and she even told me, "I see you're just starting off, but you look like you're doing great, and I would love to, if we can work together." We did a video together. I'm now an affiliate with them. We did a live together where we had food and cocktails. It was amazing. It was a great
Yeah.
time. So that was definitely one of them. This week, or the week where we recorded this episode, I also collaborated with this other Puerto Rican cocktail creator in Austin, Texas, and that was also a great time. And yeah, now this episode will be another potential opportunity. So
That's
yeah.
amazing. Didn't you have like one of your initial cocktail videos was like reshared by the brand? It's like
Oh yeah,
Bacardi or
that
something.
yeah that too. That
I remember seeing
no,
that. I was like, oh shit, like somebody's watching.
right, for sure. That was, I remember I was still living in Tampa. I had made a strawberry pina colada. It was funny. I made it, I guess you can say that was definitely one of my more authentic videos because you could definitely see my personality. I
Yeah.
guess you can say my goofiness in the video. And it wasn't the prettiest pina colada, but I still made it and I tagged it and they reposted it. Again, it wasn't in the early stages. So that
Yeah.
was kind of like a pinch me moment,
It
like,
was an
okay, like,
affirmation of like, ooh,
yes,
let me keep going.
yes, definitely. All these opportunities, even that small thing of getting reposted was like, okay, I'm doing something, I'm doing
Yeah.
something. And then Healthy Reeking, I'm doing something. And then this collaboration with the other creator too. But mind you, this has not come in a month, 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
3 months after I started. I've been technically in the game for about a year, and it's taken me a lot of patience and a lot of patience with, I guess, myself, but also maybe you could say like the industry, understanding, learning, and me not judging myself, not comparing myself to other more successful creators. Because of course I'm just starting, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
But once mind, it plays with you.
Yeah.
Like you're not there. They're far more experienced, but your mind will still be like, ah, mira esto, mira lo otro. Ay, you could have done this better. You could have done X and Y, Z. So it's definitely been a very cool learning experience.
That's one of those pitfalls of being a content creator because you're literally watching all these other people on the same platform that you're creating
Mhm.
content on. What advice do you have for folks who are having a harder time like putting those blinders on and just like staying focused on what the heck they're doing versus feeling defeated by what else is going on around them?
It's definitely a work in progress.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that you will have to do on a daily basis. I was actually talking with a friend because he's also dabbling into content creation, and he was sending me his video to get some advice. And we both agreed. I was like, respectfully, I don't love your video,
Mm,
but posted it for the fucks of it, for the
yeah.
fun of it, because you need to challenge your daily anxiety or your daily fear of posting a not perfect, a bad video, because that's how you're gonna learn. Like, you know what, my
Right.
videos don't have to be perfect. Because now thankfully, I've invested. I have lighting, I have backdrops, and all that stuff. But at first, I didn't have none of that.
Yeah, the
My
kitchen light
I had the kitchen light,
and that's it. And you
and
hope
that's
that
it.
that's doing what it needs to do.
I had the kitchen light and my phone because I didn't even have a tripod. And then my kitchen, and then my kitchen back in Tampa was like all secluded in a corner, so the angle was the worst too. But if I hadn't have posted then, I wouldn't have gotten where I am now. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I'm balling because I'm not, but I pat myself on the back because I feel like I've gone pretty far to where I came from.
Yeah.
Now I've invested in more equipment, more lighting, and more backdrops, even tutorials or communities where I can even learn more and grow.
Hmm.
But if you don't take that first step, you're never gonna get to that. And that's why again
Yeah.
you need to challenge yourself and understand and be patient with your process, your own journey,
Hmm.
and not
Yeah.
compare yourself to someone that's been doing this for 5 years that has thousands of dollars in equipment.
And not even just that, but also who has a completely different set of circumstances that they're navigating in life. Because
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
despite what the internet will tell you, most content creators are not doing this full time. Most of
mm-hmm,
them are doing this as side hustles, and they're
mm-hmm.
working jobs, and they're raising families, and they're having life while they're
Mm-hmm.
doing this stuff. And so I think it's so important to also put into context like all the shit that you're balancing,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still making time for this thing because it's important to you. And that's also another reason why you need to stop comparing, because you don't know what access to resources, support, help, hired help, staff members, like there's a lot of shit that you're not factoring into why it looks so
Right,
much easier for them
right.
versus you, who's like a one person show,
Right. A
you know?
thousand percent. A
Yeah.
thousand percent. I mean, I was doing a emphasis on that. Like everybody has their own circumstance.
Hmm.
Some people have the luxury of maybe working from home. They have 9 to 5, but they work from home. And so already having a side hustle or something or starting a business, it might be a little bit easier for them.
Oh, 1000%.
1000%. But me talking about my experience or someone that might work in the industry, the hospitality industry, we don't have that luxury.
Hmm. Yeah, you
There's
can't
no
serve cocktails from your kitchen.
Okay, I would love to, or online, right? But we don't have the luxury, so I've really had to adjust my life to a inconsistent schedule where working late nights, working weekends. I can't even like fully pre-plan because again, my schedule changes every week. I either take my circumstance and just maybe get sad or frustrated about it, or I just kind of adjust to it and make it work somehow. Because
Yeah.
at some point, I'm going to get again where I want to be.
Hmm. Absolutely. All right, Jeromy, I know this is just the beginning, but what is next for TropiBites and everything that you're working on?
What is next? It's the
I feel like we
middle
need
of
a
the year.
pop-up dinner somewhere in like Atlanta where you can go and cook for people. Like I'm here
Man,
for this.
listen, behind the scenes, I've been wanting to work on some things, pop-up bars, pop-up things. They just
Hmm.
haven't been able to work. But work has been done. But we're not going to take those L's. We're
Hmm.
going to keep pushing. What is next? It's the middle of the year. I'm definitely already looking into what I'm going to do for next year. What are my plans? First things first, I'm definitely stacking up my FU fund.
Hmm. Facts.
One of my goals for next year is either take a full break from working and be able to focus on TropiBites full time, or at least just work part time, my actual job,
Yeah.
but still dedicate more time to TropiBites and be able to produce more content or just higher quality content, be able to invest in more equipment, higher quality equipment. And I've been dabbling into YouTube.
Ooh,
I would love to do YouTube at some point. That might be something that I'm planning on starting next year. So
amazing.
let's see.
That's awesome. I think this is just another incredible story that comes out of our community of somebody
Mhm,
who like does what they say what they're going to do. Like so
mhm,
much of it is just getting out of your own way and just starting and
mhm,
starting imperfectly. There's a beauty in watching the journey, which I love
mhm,
that you shared, from the beginning. We've seen in real time like your content improve and your
mhm,
setup improve and the way that you edit your videos and the lighting and everything. That is all part of this. And I think so many times we get caught up in the, well, I'm not ready, or it's not perfect, or
mhm,
it just needs to be this. And the only way that it gets to where you want it to be is by you starting where you are.
mhm.
And so I love watching your journey. I'm so inspired by it. I hope that others are as well. Please tell us where we can find you, the blog, the videos. Tell us everything.
Yeah, so I mean, website is tropibites.com. That's tropi like tropical, and then bites.com. And same name for all the socials. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, working on Pinterest, but still working on that because I'm on Pinterest. I need
That's
to
a beast
learn.
in itself.
It's a beast in itself, so I can only focus on one thing at a time. But definitely, maybe for next year, I'll do Pinterest. But for now, website TropiBites.com, Instagram TropiBites, TikTok, Facebook.
Amazing. Who's your dream collaboration?
My dream collaboration.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a lot because to me, I gotta divide it into either food or cocktails, right?
Well, tell us one of each.
Right. So for food, I would say definitely up there is cooking con Omi.
Oh yeah,
Omi
we love
Hopper.
Omi.
Oh, she's great. I love
She's
her.
amazing.
I said she's like a tia. She's a bit like a tia with like Rebecca and
I'm gonna send her this
Elise.
episode.
Oh, do it. She's definitely a tia. I love her. Ever since I saw her on I followed her before she was on Next Level Chef, but Next Level Chef, love that. Bodylicious for sure. Puerto Rican icon.
Oh, I love him too. Yeah, he's great.
So I think that kind of like up there as far as food, as far as cocktails.
You got to do something with Donku. I mean, hello.
Oh no, of course, 100%. Donku. I really want to focus on like Puerto Rican brands.
Yeah.
For sure. So definitely bringing those to light, and then Donku. I love when it comes to bourbon. I love Buffalo Trace, maybe some vodka, Tito's. So
amazing. You know what I want to see when you do scale down and start working part time and have more time to be out here creating content. I would love to see you cooking in Puerto Rico. I think we need a whole series of Jeromy and Puerto Rico cooking in all the kitchens, because I feel like that's just the next natural step for you, is to become another ambassador to our beautiful culture, our islands. I mean, I'm definitely biased, but Puerto Rican food is the fucking best in the world, and you can fight me, anybody who doesn't agree with me. And so I love, as a fellow food content creator, to see more and more of us showing up in these spaces and occupying space in these industries and in these fields that have been traditionally for others. So I'm wishing you so much continued success. Please continue to keep me posted. And when you do that pop-up dinner, give me a call, because I'm hopping on the flight. Thank you so much for being here.
No problem. Take care. Bye-bye.